Mōrena koutou katoa ki a koutou e whakarongo mai nei ki a Tūranga FM. Ko Michael Hollis tēnei mihi atu ki a koutou I runga I tēnei ata. Ko te wā inaia nei ko te tekauma iwa miniti. Pahi te tekau karaki te ata. Kia ora koutou. Welcome to Tūranga FM. I'm Michael Hollis, your host here. And on the phone, I'm very happy to be joined by Meka Whaitiri, MP for Te Ikoro Rāwhiti and Labour MP. Mōrena, Meka.
Mōrena, Mike. Mōrena koutou. Te whānau o te kāinga nei.
Ka pai Meka. Last time I saw you was at the kapahaka.
Ai, Tamararos, and it was lovely to be there. We had a typical Tūranga Nui a Kiwa day in that showground, so a bit wetter, and it wasn't just what was coming off the stage. But no, it was lovely to be there, Mike, and so many good teams up there, but only so many spots. And, the crowd pleaser of Te Hoku Whitu Atu, unfortunately didn't make it, but, you got 4 strong representatives going away, and of course a big mihi out to Te Atanga Hauiti that came through and took the competition. But Te Manawa Mauria, Whangara, and who have I missed? Who's the fourth one that I've missed out?
Alfano Waihirere.
Waihirere, dingoes. I'd be shot down. Awesome teams to represent the Tairawhiti at Matatini down in Ototahi next year. So, no, great stuff.
So that was only a couple of weeks ago. So what's been happening recently in your rohe o Te Ikoro Rāwhiti?
Well, we've had recess, so now we're back into Parliament this week, Mike. So it's been basically for the last 2 weeks I've been out and about in the electorate announcing Labour's Best Start policy, which is the putting our newborn babies first as a priority, and that's the $60 extra a week. Into families with newborn babies who earn, and people are criticising up to $150,000, but for a lot of families, even that in some of the big cities, it's still a struggle to meet the needs of baby. But what it doesn't, people don't focus on is those include those that are on $11,000, $20,000 a year. That's an extra $60 a week, and of course it proratas in year 2 and year 3, meaning that the income level drops down. So I've been involved with our spokesperson on children, Jacinda Ardern, and travels through the Hutt Valley, which is the lower part of my electorate, in Hastings, and we're hoping to get her into Gisborne so she can come and visit play centres, kindergartens, kohangers, talk to obviously those that have a lot to do with our tamariki, and so that's what I've been doing on that front. I've released a members bill called Don't Turn the Tuki Tuki Toxic on the riverbanks of the Tuki Tuki up in Hawke's Bay there. I've obviously been to the kapahakas. I've been on the road protesting, joining the crowds of people protesting against the legal highs.
Oh yeah, that's been a big one recently, Meka, because just around the corner from our work, there was a bit of a protest there happening regarding the selling of legal highs, and yeah, a lot of whānau are quite passionate about that kaupapa.
Yes, and look, I've been to legal high protests or community rallies down in Nainai. I've been to the one in Hastings a few months back. I was there on the weekend, both in Napier and Hastings, and obviously met with the Gisborne District Council, the councillors, TPK, in terms of the issue that's happening back there in Gisborne. And it's really clear people don't want regulation. They don't want it regulated. It's clear I think government did get it wrong, and I know majority of people voted for it, and can I say I wasn't in the House when that bill went through, but it doesn't change the fact that people want it completely banned. They want it out of their cities, they want it off the streets, and they want it out of their families. And so, coming up to Gisborne and meeting with Ming and talking to Mere Puatu, I was pleased. And look, Mere shared some amazing stories around, because I know she's in the same building as you, Mike, and she could literally tell you the families, the cars, the time of day that they're congregating to get from that store and then go down to the riverside. And I guess, I just wanted to lend my support, particularly with the civic leaders, but also the community. Media was saying that the iwi, Te Ranganui Kiwa Runanga, were calling a meeting of all the homeowners to try and come up with a tūranga-wai plan, and those are the sorts of initiatives we need to get behind. Obviously, resourcing is going to be an issue. There's issues around not enough rehabilitation services, so people who want to get off that stuff, and I've got to say, it's probably, it's one of the most harmfulest drugs out today, and it's harmful because it's legal, but it's more harmful because of the chemical impacts it has on your brains, and I've come to learn a little bit about it, but it's deadly. It's a deadly drug, and we need to get rid of it. And, listening to all the stories, the passionate stories, the impacts it's having on families particularly is incredible. And so, I've committed to taking back the kōrero of our communities throughout Ikaro Rāwhiti. They're united in the fact that they want it banned. And so, I'm feeding that back into our health spokesperson because this government's not going to do anything about it, and that's why we need change.
Yeah, I can totally concur with Mere, because I see a lot of people, it's very popular synthetic drug that. Also a very important kaupapa as well has been education, and a couple of questions from people because they know that you call in every month, and then they're eagerly awaiting this conversation, Meka. And then Rick wants to know, because the government is going to fund schools according to the progress their pupils make, which was revealed, and he says there's a lot of bad things that could come out from that actual bill there. What's your whakaaro, Meka?
Well, the bill, in terms of government policy now, funding schools for success, is that the question?
I believe so, yep.
Yeah, so clearly that's what you get under this government. What I'm seeing in all their policies, particularly in education, is there's a shift to privatising our education. You'll see that in the move to establishing, I believe we've got 4 chartered schools going up, which means you could have a McDonald's school, but it's actually also funded out of public money. You don't have to have qualified teachers to work in it. You could pick, the best flipper of hamburgers, whatever. What I'm saying is, what I'm seeing in this government is a real shift to privatising what should be our sort of baseline public services, and education is critical. And so funding for success and ignoring, what is success? Success in terms of academic success, in terms of cultural sport success, because as you know, our tamarakis pursue all sorts of opportunities. So the government's policy around just picking winners, I think, is fundamentally flawed. I think we need an education system, therefore an education policy that appreciates the diversity, that allows our tamarakis to aspire to whatever they want to be it, again, in the classroom, on the sports field, on the kapahaka stage, be it in te reo, be it in French, be it in English. We're becoming quite a diverse society, but my priority is our reo, our tikanga, and our mātauranga Māori, and that's the sort of stuff that you'll see in the Labour League government and the policies that we're shaping now. So what does that mean practically for our party and what we've promoted? We're promoting that Māori language becomes compulsory in our schools. So right there, we're saying Māori language counts and Māori identity counts when it comes to educating our tamariki. So that's what I'd say about that. It's not a policy I buy into or a policy I support of only picking winners, because you, as well as I know, we come in all shapes and sizes. And the person that determines what is success is generally the ones that don't take the needs of our whānau into consideration.
Yeah, well, Rick was also concerned about Māori kids as well. He was saying that it will intensify Māori being marginalised. The impoverished will be marginalised. Also, schools will either cap their role or screen transient children. That was one of his biggest concerns. Yeah,
but the other thing you're seeing too is you're seeing that return of white flight. So people were moving out of where there's predominantly Māori kids, and they're taking their kids down the other end of town because there's like-minded. So I don't think that's good for our society. We start to have segregation through an education system that says, well, we've got to go to that school rather than the school down the road, simply because, that one there's got more people that look like me. So we want a diverse education system that actually says that wherever you are, be it out, and here's another thing that I've got some issues in terms of ikaro rāwhiti, is the closing down of a lot of our rural schools, right? And so, yes, there's a falling role, but the process in which we are closing these schools down, and I visited up in Waipiro, their school got closed, and then you had the one, Te Puya Springs came down while I was having a hui, and all their interest is not so much the closing down of the school, but the process of involving the community in the decisions, and so that's one of the things that I'm trying to not keep all rural schools, but if you're going to change the makeup of rural schools or the makeup of where they are allocated, then all I'm saying is involve the whānau. So, look, education is quite a big take, and that's probably why they haven't given it to me, Mike, but, Chris Hipkin is our spokesperson on education, but from what I see in our area, we need sharper quality, tailored, that allows our kids to see and be what they want to be, and immersed in their identity and their language. And I want to see more of that coming through.
Yeah, well, Rick is involved in the education sector as well as Holly, and she knew that you were going to be on the show as well, and she's involved with the early childhood sector. And then she's just reiterating what you just said about the direction. She's not very happy with the direction of education at the moment, saying, as you said, closing down schools, performance pay, factory farm kids and ECE, don't need to be qualified, checklists, behaviour scores. Yeah, she's not very happy at the moment.
Well, look, Mike, give them my contact details. I've got an office in Gisborne. I'm really about solutions and around policies that work for our people. I'm not trying to say that I have all the answers, but from what I see and move about, I'm really good at taking people that are at the coalface, be it teachers, be it whānau, be it students themselves, and giving them access straight to our spokespeople, or taking their concerns and turning them into solutions around what would be a better education service for our people. And I'd just like to extend it to both your callers to ensure that their concerns, but probably their opportunities around what they're saying, can be supported.
Also, which just came off the press recently, has been the resignation of Gisborne District Councillor Manu Keri, and I know that you had a lot of respect for Manu Keri.
Yes, no, I've had two occasions of meeting Manu when I've sat with the Gisborne District Council, and it's not hard representing sort of the environment or the Māori component or the whatever component in a regional council or a local government, because generally for a lot of them, and it's probably no different to Gisborne and some of the rural ones, is you get a strong farming element representation. I see it down in Hawke's Bay, and it has a guest. There's a bit of that in Gisborne, and so Manu's probably not a farmer, but what Manu did bring is that sort of environmental lens. And, he always used to grill me when I'd go meet with them, so I'm not saying this, but I value his contribution, his unique contribution around environmental issues. And those are the sorts of people that you need to look after and keep at the table of local government, because they're so unique, because they look at things and provide a different lens on local government decision making, and that needs to be encouraged. And so when I heard that he'd resigned, it saddened me that, again, you're going to lose one. And I know you've got Amber in there, and you've got Meredith in there, and of course they're quite unique in their own way. But diverse local governments are a good thing. They shouldn't be. We shouldn't be afraid from them. So as Manu resigns for his reasons, I just want to meet him for his contribution since being a councillor since 2010. I hope Gisborne doesn't lose people like Manu because of the expertise they bring, and I just hope they're able to replace him with somebody similar to Manu in terms of that environmental lens and perspective.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and finally, Meka, before we get to the news, I understand that you wanted to talk about the rail as well.
Well, we had our spokesperson, Darian Fenton, up there in Moana last week, and I know she announced that under Labour League government we will open the Gisborne to Napier rail, and I'm really pleased to support that. It's something that came up during the by-election. People want that. I remember catching the train from Wellington to Gisborne, and look, I enjoyed that travel, but not just for personal reasons. It's the economic opportunities opening that line will bring to the region of Gisborne and Hawke's Bay in terms of getting produce to both ports. Well, not so much to the Gisborne port, but definitely to the Napier port, but also, the safety issue of getting some of the logging trucks off the road. And if you've ever had to drive that road, Mike, I'll tell you what, 13 logging trucks hurling down that road, and that's just between Napier and Wairoa. Scary sight, having so many big logging trucks coming through, fully loaded. So, look, it's a good thing to support. It's something that I know that people I've spoken to want to see it open. But, for the opportunities in terms of creating some jobs, much needed jobs in Gisborne, in terms of a safety issue, getting the logging trucks off the road, and also the tourism opportunities of bringing tourists who want to travel around that beautiful coastline around Whareongoa there. So huge opportunities, and I'm happy to support my colleague Darian Fenton in announcing that last week in Gisborne.
Oh, Choice Meka, it was a pleasure talking to you again. Stay on the phone. I just want to talk to you a little bit more while the news is on. But it's been awesome to be able to talk to you.
No, kia ora, Mike. Lovely to be on the show. And again, just looking forward to coming back up to Gisborne. And it's a pleasure to always be on your show, Mike.
E aku nui, e aku rahi, e aku whakatamarahi ki te rangi, kua hau a whiu tarawa me ngā kohinga kōrero o Tauro mo tēnei ahi mai te māngai pāho, te pū te atautoko. Kua heke mai a Manu Keri mai tōna tūranga ki roto i te kaunihera o